Hello, my friends, and welcome to your Adventure Compass. Today we're in Monroe, Michigan to check out the Michigan Museum of Horror. There's all kinds of cool and creepy things inside. They have lots of things from movies. There's lots of human skulls and actual human remains, various things like that, coffins, anything to do with death, horror movies, stuff like that. You're gonna find it inside, so let's go in and take a look around.
Alright guys, while we're looking at the window displays here in the front of the museum, I wanted to let you know that unfortunately there was death metal music blaring super loud to the point where none of the audio that I recorded inside actually turned out. Now the good thing is I'm going to overdub it and you won't have to even notice that, but I wanted to let you know. Let's head inside. And the first thing we notice upon entering is this mortician's table where they would lay the bodies and do their work. Right next to it is this old wicker casket. These were used to transport bodies, partially because they were a little bit lighter, and I've also heard rumors that they would bury bodies with these in areas that were prone to flooding, and this would prevent the casket from floating. And over here in this casket, there's a few unique things. Starting at the very top, we've got a Jason mask that's been signed by the actor that played Jason. And right below that, we've got one of these classic mechanical monkeys right here. And right below it, we have a haunted Ouija board. This Ouija board was thrown out in the dumpster several times, and every morning it appeared back in the tavern, and eventually it was bound by a witch. It's some sort of binding spell to prevent that from happening, and they have it here at the Museum of Horror. And over along this wall, various death certificates, wanted posters. This is a death certificate for Dana Plato, who was the actress in Different Strokes. Right below it here, wanted poster, and I believe this is for the Zodiac Killer. Some more stuff down here. And how about this one, Jeffrey Dahmer. There's some facts about Jeffrey Dahmer. Down here, some articles and things. Lots of information about various serial killers down here. And some of these have some memorabilia of sorts to go with it. There's something down there from Bonnie and Clyde. There's a vial of something here attached to the Jeffrey Dahmer one. It's an old wanted poster for insurance fraud. Moving up here, we have some stuff on the Black Dahlia murder. And you can see information wanted there. And here's some more. Poster here. Some various information listed on this one as well. Not sure about that. There's also some movie memorabilia mixed in. Here's a fact from the Lost Boys. Kind of interesting. And more horror movie stuff over here. We get some stuff from Night of the Living Dead. Some of these are movie used pieces, or stuff as simple as like the dirt that was used. Here's a piece of carpeting from the last performance where Dimebag Darrell was. Here's a piece of Alcatraz, Return of the Living Dead. There's all kinds of interesting things in this place, and they're not in any particular order. It's kind of odd that they're just kind of randomly strewn about. Here's another one here. Film fact about the Texas Chainsaw Massacre right here. And believe it or not, there's even stuff like the Gremlins. There's stuff from the Gremlins in here. Gremlins 2, some movie memorabilia, and guess what, guys? Right in this cabinet, that is a ball of fur from one of the actual Gremlins used on screen. I know it seems silly, but yeah, that's what that is. There's the movie poster there for the original Gremlins. And over here we have some facial castings. Boris Karloff. Vincent Price, and Bela Lugosi, classic horror movie actors. Of course, Bela Lugosi playing Dracula, the classic Dracula. Vincent Price, how many horror movies Vincent Price has done? I could not imagine. He was an awesome actor in those old horror movies. And Boris Karloff, famous for playing the Mummy and Frankenstein as well. And down below them is an article about UFO aliens mummy found in mountains, and it's some odd stuff in here, some of which I don't know anything about. Like, what is that? I'm not sure. I don't know if that's the alien mummy. Over here, this is a witch's flail or whip, and I don't know if it's actual or what it is, but it's here. It's on display. And there's some other things below in the cabinet. Right behind it on the wall is some stuff from Dawn of the Dead. And I think they have some original film cells on there as well. And here's a fact about Bela Lugosi. And I didn't know this. He was buried in a Dracula cape. Known for playing Dracula. There's the license plate. Screen use prop from the Bates Motel TV show, not the movie. Got lots of certificates of authenticity showing that these things are real. And right here inside this sealed petri dish is a slice of a human brain. And in this corner cabinet here, we have an actual human spine. And on the shelf, right above it, is a real human skull. And just over to the right is this very old human skull under this glass dome. There is another one right here. And finally, they have one more down here. A good portion of these human body parts that are here were either donated or they were used for medical purposes for studying. There's also some human ribs down here. A real human hand, in this case. And this, I believe, was part of a jawbone. And over in this case, we have some braids from a young girl who was killed when she was hit in the head by a bus. Saving the hair from the deceased just used to be a trend, and sometimes they would actually weave it into a wreath. And right next to it, we have the information from the coroner's office. And here is the billing for all of the funeral expenses, such as the dress and things like that. And right here, another piece of movie memorabilia. This one, a picture of Bela Lugosi. A lot of this stuff is just kind of randomly thrown throughout the museum, but this one kind of makes sense because it's right next to a vampire hunting kit. And I don't know if this is a real vampire hunting kit or just something they put together as an example. Unfortunately, a lot of these plaques and descriptions lack detail. And this page that's framed here talks a little bit in depth about vampires and their hunters. Tells you a little bit about them. You can feel free to pause this and take a look if you'd like. And over here, another piece of movie history. This is a drop of blood from the movie Jaws. This carpet on the floor here may look familiar. It is from the movie The Shining. This next one might seem a little bit odd. This is a jar of Jif peanut butter, and it is supposedly contaminated with salmonella. This happened back in 2022, and I guess this is one of the lot numbers that was supposedly contaminated. So, yeah, contaminated peanut butter. And right next to it is some coal from Eloise Asylum. A lot of people in Michigan are familiar with Eloise, and they have some of the coal from the asylum here. And in the corner, a couple of creepy looking dolls. They are creepy looking. There's another one back over there too. Down below we have some dental work. These are dental impressions, various teeth and whatnot from dental records. And right down below, a prescription for codeine. And this certificate right below looks to be a certificate allowing them to prescribe opium. And this one is a certificate allowing them to prescribe opium and cocaine. This cabinet over here has some animal skulls in it, and up on top is a horse skull. It's apparently native Chippewa Indian horse skull. And down below we have some more creepy dolls with no description, so I don't know if there's any significance to these. And right along this wall we have a couple of masks from Leatherface from the Texas Chainsaw Massacre. And I don't know if these are actually screen used or not. They look fairly realistic anyway. I don't know. A couple of movie posters here as well. Now this next room is what's referred to as the Red Room. Note the adults only 18 plus sign and the body bag that is covering the entrance. There is a lot of things in here that I cannot show on camera. There are a lot of very graphic photographs in here from murder scenes and different things like that that I will not be able to show. There are, however, a few things that I can show, and I will put those in. Over here we have part of a letter that was mailed from prison from Charles Manson. Speaking of which, they also have his mugshot in here as well. Now this doesn't quite belong in here, but the Bride of Chucky and Chucky himself are both in the Red Room here on the couch. Thought that was kind of interesting.
All right, guys, well, there's still quite a bit more. We're gonna head upstairs and see what's up there as well. There's a giant skull in the corner over here, and a couple of classic monster movie posters right above. And now we're heading up. I do not remember seeing this in any of the other videos or whatnot that I've watched, but over here is a fortune-telling room. And they probably do some readings in here from time to time, just not right now. And at the top of the stairs, right next to that fortune-telling room, we have a giant clown. Check him out. There is a brick over here from Penhurst Asylum. I'm not familiar with that particular asylum. And over here, there's some stuff from the 2007 Trick or Treat. Let's see what this says. Over here, some stuff from The Exorcist. There's a news sample there. And over here, a signed picture. And the Living Dead Dolls version from The Exorcist. Not quite sure who that guy is supposed to be. And over here, another Wicker Casket. This is from the 1920s. He definitely had a dead body in it at one point in time. And over here, a couple of memorial cards from people who have passed on, and a doll as well. Up above, we have some suits. And I don't know if these were rented out maybe to bury people in that didn't have the money or couldn't afford a suit. That's what they look like to me. Right down below, we have a couple of caskets for babies and small children right there. It's like an embalmer's kit right here with the different jars and tools. And maybe more memorial cards down here, it looks like. Same thing. It looks like the old classic version of these might have been black and gold, which is kind of different. Up above that, looks like some more embalming tools. And even more up this way. And different embalming fluids. All right, well, I don't know if these were actually screen used, but if you look closely at the name on here, it says Laddie. And this is implying both this and the Chinese takeout complete with maggots inside is implying that these are quite possibly from the movie The Lost Boys. Now, I'm not sure if these are actually screen used or if they're just made up for this, but there is this here, and this was signed by all the various people involved with the movie. It's kind of cool. And right next to The Lost Boys is a Evil Dead Necronomicon book. It's a replica. And then they have some Ouija boards. And these don't really say anything. This one looks much, much older. This is the Parker Brothers version here. I think you can still buy this now in the stores. But this one here, that looks pretty old, pretty antique. And possibly even older is this wooden one here. And the wooden one right below it that's a little bit smaller. And here are some directions on how to use your Ouija board. And another one with some details up here as well. All right, over here we have a bunch of different pieces from funeral homes. This table, by the way, is an embalming table. If you look, there are holes in the table, and I believe that's how they drain the bodies for fluids and whatnot. There's also different books talking about different things. There's a casket company book. Looks like it's just maybe the cover, not an actual book, I don't know. This is one of the things you would put over, this would be something you'd put over the parking meters reserved for funeral. Here's a bunch of different caskets. Coming around this way, there are funeral flags to put on the cars when they do the funeral processions. There's a body bag, and oddly enough, they're selling this body bag. They're selling this body bag for $50. I know a lot of the stuff in the back here, my understanding is it's for sale, and they do have quite a bit. That body bag, believe it or not, I picked up an actual body bag on Woot, which is an Amazon resale type place where they sell things that weren't going well and they couldn't get rid of. And I picked it up for $10 2 years ago, brand new, and I thought it'd be a great Halloween prop. Over here, a bunch of different tools, embalming fluids, and looks like an artist makeup kit. What they would use to make the deceased look a little bit better. A couple other things back over here. Different plaques. I think these would go on the walls in the mausoleums and whatnot. You got some old style magnetic car funeral flags right here. Different photos of caskets you can choose. Large style syringes. And just kind of a mixture of different things. This is Spirit House, shrine dedicated to protective spirit, building our home. Usually offerings are left to appease the guardian spirit and to keep wandering spirits from causing harm. And it looks like there's some money in there, and that's probably a good thing because there are a lot of very sensitive items in here and pieces. And I'm sure if there were spirits around, they would want to come in here. Got a medical skeleton over here. As I mentioned, this area is mostly stuff that's for sale. There's a few items like the Spirit House that are obviously not for sale. Some more items over here. And over here, some shoes from the movie Van Helsing. And right here we've got some clothing from The Walking Dead. This says blue long sleeve shirt, but I'm not sure who wore this. Do you guys have any idea? If you know, leave a comment. Let me know. And over here, another one from Walking Dead. This is green and blue long sleeve shirt. And I'm not so sure about this one either. It's got like a stripe across the middle. I really don't know. It doesn't say on these who wore them. And also up here, nails used in season 5. Carl nails the church door shut. Ah, yes, I remember this. Yeah. And then down here, there is a mortuary stretcher. The stretcher has been used to transport hundreds of real dead bodies. You can even see human staining still present on this item. Ew. And right over here, it's Freddy Krueger. He's dressed up and he's ready to come get you in your dreams. It's also got his famous claw on. Now, I do remember seeing something about this character in another video. I don't recall this character's name. And I do remember hearing that the movie is quite disgusting. So if you know who this is, good. It's not really the movie for me. And right up here, it's Michael Myers. And if you look closely, you can see right into his eyes. So I kind of walked right past this earlier. There is right here next to the X-Files poster, there is an actual script from one of the episodes. Looks like season 2, episode 10. I'm not sure which one that is. It says Red Museum. I don't recall it. We actually enjoyed the X-Files. We have the entire series on DVD. And we watched that many, many years ago. But yeah, that's kind of interesting. And also over here, a couple of grave markers inside this crate. But these crates, I believe, were to bring small caskets across country and import them, export them from various countries.
Well guys, just like any museum, they also have a gift store, though some of these items might not be the kind of thing you'd want to keep as a gift. you can get wet specimens, butterflies, bats, bunnies in a jar, things like that. I will tell you that most of the prices here on this type of stuff are a little bit higher than what you would see at a oddities or curiosities type show. You're going to find a lot lower pricing there. This is kind of a specialty because they're open all the time. So if you want this at any given time, you can just walk in here and get this. Plenty of stickers, rocks, fossils, things like that. Over in this cabinet, they have some various insects. There's a black scorpion, and in the vials is a black widow spider. There's a couple of books and soil samples, things like that. Down here, some smaller bugs. I think there's millipedes. One lucky rabbit's foot left, and of course, some Jason masks. Over here, there's a bowl full of different buttons. There's a framed newspaper clipping from The Shining. They also have a couple of horror movie posters as well. And in this next cabinet, there's some sage. The horror coloring book on this shelf is quite amusing. Next to the sage, they also have some crystal vials and some wands. And then over in this cabinet here, there are pieces of jewelry, rings, and on this shelf, yes, these are human remains. This is a human temporal bone, and next to it is a human rib bone. Up above, they have human brain pens that have little pieces of human brain inside, and you can buy death certificates from various serial killers as well. These are copies, of course. And over on the next shelf, you'll notice that some of these things are out of stock, probably because they couldn't get any more of them. But you'll notice there are some embalming tools over here. There's some various cups and souvenirs from movie stuff, turtle skulls. And the shelf below has some incense. And over into the next cabinet, some more items over here, smaller specimens that you can purchase. And they even have soil samples from the graveyard in Salem. And of course, some classic horror movie signs as well. Some pillows over here. And what museum would be complete without having a t-shirt?
So guys, that's going to do it for our trip to the Michigan Horror Museum. If you guys enjoyed this video, please give it a big thumbs up. Don't forget to click on the compass so you can stay subscribed to more of my fall adventure content just like this. And remember, adventure is just a short drive away.